We've all been there, returning to our own homes after some extended absence, only to be met with something off. It could be the air conditioning left running too long, or the faint scent of last night's dinner lingering in the fridge. But what happens when it's more than just a minor disturbance? In one quiet suburban street, a seemingly ordinary life unraveled, thread by thread, amidst the darkest hours of grief. And it started with small changes that would prove impossible to erase. She stepped out of the creaky old sedan, onto the crumbling asphalt driveway. The worn welcome mat with its faded message, "Home Sweet Home," seemed an empty promise as it stretched towards the front door, once painted but now dulled to a dull gray hue. Her heels clicked against the ground, echoing off the nearby trees, their branches swaying listlessly in the afternoon breeze. Her eyes wandered over the familiar landscape, yet something felt off. Maybe it was the lingering scent of pine cleaner wafting from the interior of the house, or perhaps it was the way the sunlight struggled to penetrate the cloudy sky above. Whatever it was, it left a sour taste in her mouth. As she fumbled with the key, memories began to resurface, whispers of her mother's passing, hushed conversations between relatives. But amidst all the condolences, one thing nagged at her. Why hadn't anyone mentioned her mother's changes? Not even when they'd last spoken just days ago? She pushed open the creaking door and called out, "Hello." No response came back. Entering the foyer, the air inside proved thick with stagnation. Shadows danced across walls adorned with framed family photos, creating macabre silhouettes. In each photo, her mother wore elaborate, full-sleeve tattoos etched into vibrant colors. These same markings had been subtly discussed among mourners. Many found them fascinating, some morbidly intriguing. Yet, upon closer inspection, there existed no indication these designs had ever appeared on her body until this point. Rumors circulated within the neighborhood. Peculiar stories of noise complaints following quiet nights at home, odd shadows observed lurking near her property line, late evening hours. Standalone line. The wind stilled outside, as if paying attention. Backtracking through the past few weeks' memory files revealed long stretches spent lounging indoors, away from prying gazes. Hours lost within hazy reverie. Sleep interrupted by distant sounds of shuffling papers, kitchen appliances humming along without purpose. At times her gaze fell toward the unobtrusive patches of scar tissue scattered beneath the newest inkwork. Peculiar crescent-shaped marks where fingers might have dragged frantically down skin in desperation. A few of these scars shared proximity to those recently applied. Others stood isolated, forming small clusters like battle wounds across exposed areas of flesh. A faint tremble invaded her hands while carefully examining her biceps. These intricate symbols matched, color for color, design for design, exactly what remained visible under the latticework covering her deceased mother's lower arms. Breath caught halfway, dread trickling cold across the base of the neck. Something shifted. Unspoken questions took hold. Who brought such workmanship? When? How did I allow myself to fall asleep surrounded by this? Abrupt pause. I must be imagining things. It wouldn't make sense otherwise. She clawed at her eyelids, trying to scrub away the fog that clung to them like damp cloth. Her fingers scraped against the rough fabric of a blanket, sending shivers down her spine. Sleep had been short-lived, suffocated by the oppressive presence that lingered just out of sight. Her stomach growled, protesting the lack of food, but she couldn't muster the energy to get up. Not yet. Not when every creak of the old wooden floorboards seemed amplified to deafening levels. She lay still, listening as the house groaned around her, its sighs and moans weaving together into an unsettling symphony. The air was heavy with the stench of rotting wood and something else. Sweat? Grease? She wrinkled her nose, trying to pinpoint the source, but it vanished beneath the pungent aroma of mildew. As if sensing her unease, the silence outside congealed into a thick, almost palpable substance that wrapped itself around her heart. With effort, she pushed herself up onto one elbow, surveying the cramped space. Shadows cast from flickering candles danced across walls smeared with faint handprints, as if some unseen force had left behind a trail of secret messages. Futility crawled under her skin as she tried to recall who might have made these marks. The original owner, perhaps? A previous occupant? A tremor ran along her jawline, making her teeth chatter. The room was growing colder, creeping frost spreading across the windowsills. Outside, darkness gathered, drawn inward by some morbid fascination. Every step, every sound felt muffled, weighted down by an unshakable foreboding that stalked alongside her, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Panic started to seep in like cold water, seeping between her bones and infiltrating her thoughts. Sweat broke on her forehead, mingling with the rank smell clinging to everything. With each passing minute, the shadows deepened, twisting themselves into impossible shapes that lunged towards her with grasping tendrils. Breathing grew shallow, becoming more labored. She lifted the edge of the blanket, letting it pool over her legs like a dirty waterfall. Her gaze drifted toward the window pane, now etched with tiny lines where morning dew hadn't fully evaporated. Frost clung to the panes, casting an eerie glow on the furniture within. Furniture covered in strange symbols, carved long ago by some unknown hand, her grandmother's doing, or so the family story went. Her eyes lingered on a particular piece, a dresser bearing intricate wooden locks, said to be the work of a vengeful ancestor. It seemed an odd heirloom to pass down, yet here it stood, silently watching her, its surface scarred with worn grooves that mimicked the pattern on her grandmother's own back. A thought halted mid-breath as something wet splattered against the glass, smearing streaks of crimson across the condensation-etched scene outside. For an instant, she couldn't distinguish what happened next. Time stuttering, the world spinning wildly, colors bleeding together as if paint-wet canvas ripped apart under frenzied hands, until reality snapped back into place, sharp enough to slice breath short. Droplets clung to the pane like tiny red kisses. On her side, she realized they weren't there when she'd last checked. How could anyone reach the window? This house creaked louder than ever, making any intruder almost audible, almost seen. She slid off the bed, dragging blankets behind, moving without thinking as footsteps echoed down the hallway, growing heavier with every step, then suddenly ceased. A pause hung thick in air. No sound followed but hers, ragged breathing that made lungs ache. A presence lingered near, heavy-footed and deliberate. Faint vibrations in floorboards announced progress along the hall. Moving blindly forward, her palms met cold metal and, with fingers clumsy from sleep, found door handles slick beneath fingertips. Inching open each section one by one until reaching the room closest to the entrance. She stumbled upon something peculiar. Scratched off scratched walls, torn fabric clinging to windowsills as if caught in windless gusts. Then noticing another detail, darkening patches scattered amidst faded wallpaper prints. Fresh bruises bloomed like dark gardens, hidden under layers of old cloth and skin creases left unretouched since years past, all converging on her grandmother's favorite painting of St. Elizabeth, herself, actually. And the memory came, that night spent staring into St. Elizabeth's calm face while feeling St. Elizabeth's grip tighten around her ankle. Unreal images danced beyond reason, blood flowing between knuckles like molten gold, fingernails ripping off flesh in claw-sharpened spasms, voices calling out to someone whose name slipped away. With those memories rising up like bubbles breaking through still waters, confusion became fluid chaos, turbulent thoughts racing faster than words could catch them. When she opened her mouth, sounds spilled forth like vomit, gasps for air, sobs half choked off at a whisper. Words tumbled over one another in desperate attempts to explain everything at once. Mom. The tattoos. How did this happen? Words crumbling into dust before being spoken fully. Her body reacted first, muscles responding like those of a frightened animal. The floor rushed up, meeting teeth with numbing crunch. Silence settles now. What remains is not quiet, but rather a heaviness born from understanding that which cannot be explained or undone. In spaces where love should reside, decay thrives. Beneath the surface of familiarity lies a void waiting to consume us whole. The mind recoils at truths too great to bear. We cling to shadows cast by our own fears. It's said that some wounds never heal, only fester, feeding on the darkness within ourselves. These stories echo on, forever trapped within the realms we dare not speak aloud. They seep into dreams, corrupting even the lightest of slumbers. And though our hearts may beat stronger, it's the emptiness inside that gives us no reprieve. This darkness persists. Even after all is silenced, Its lingering specter beckons anew, promising an eternity of suffocating unease.